And of course, right as I start, the cat jumps on my keyboard. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Disney Plus Pals. I am joined by Kneale, Sher, Jack, and Mel.
She's back.
I'm the only one who gets an alternate form. You guys don't.
Oh.
Excuse me, I came back for a grand revival. So
technically, Jack got 3 alternate forms because the first Jack died. And then we got a second Jack who also died.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Or did they post-credit scene?
This here.
Okay, so usually we start by being like, oh, we're going to talk about what we like about the episode, and be a little more casual. I'm just going to say it. My ranking's 10 out of 10. This was the best episode.
Wow.
Yeah. It was great. I loved it. I loved every second.
In episode 2?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Every gripe I had about episode 3 was answered for here.
Yeah. I still can't believe Miss Menace is not there though for me, but Mobius was good until, the prune scene, which it was sad. And then I was wondering where Miss Menace was. I was like, okay, where is she? Are you sure she's gonna turn into a giant monster at the end?
I am. Mel, you haven't been here. Me and Jack, mostly me, but me and Jack thoroughly believe that Miss Minutes is going to be the final boss of the show.
Sarah Strong rules!
I mean, who made the timekeepers? Who is puppeteering them?
That is true. I guess Menace would be a good contender for being the puppet master. I don't know. I think the only thing though I know for sure, and I wish the fandom would stop this already because my heart can only take so much disappointment. Stop saying Morpheus is coming anytime soon because especially I heard
Morbius?
Mephisto?
Mephisto.
Sorry, my bad.
Morpheus is from the Matrix.
I realized that.
Take the blue pill. Take the red pill.
Second cup of coffee. Leave me alone.
I feel you. I haven't eaten today or anything.
I'm eating graham crackers. Again.
Right, but the fandom especially needs to kind of let go of Mephisto for a bit. Like, I was very disappointed that he was even, shown in, especially, I don't know if you guys heard about what they did with the final episode of WandaVision. So, in the after credit scene, y'all know how the after credit scene ended, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this.
Well, apparently, if you go on Disney Plus now, I did not check myself personally yet, so take what I say with a grain. But from what we found out last night, actually, is that they added some an extra bit, an extra few seconds of somebody flying through the sky.
So,
and a lot of people believe it's Vision more so than Mephisto. But still, I'm just at the point where it's just it was released already. What was done is done. You can't really do cheap backsies right now with me, Marvel.
Well,
you can't.
Here's the thing. I've seen the same thing, and I've seen videos analyzing it. That's actually a graphical glitch. So people are finding Mephisto in a graphics glitch now.
Yeah, it's a masking artifact. If you do want a timeline, they had it for the entire scene rather than just the bit they needed it for. So the whole thing is just there, which is
they really changed was the trees, which I assume they did on purpose to make it match Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
If there's a scene there.
Yeah, that was the other thing that was also too sad was being kind of giving a hint to the Doctor Strange 2 movie. I'm still just at the point where it's just even people are theorizing that Mephisto was the demon in the first episode in the window, and I'm just guys, I was already disappointed that they had their shot. They had their chance to put him in WandaVision. They didn't, and I'm not saying that they won't put in Mephisto eventually. It's just not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think eventually we'll see Mephisto. If it actually turns out he's behind the TVA, that doesn't make sense for his character.
Right. And also, too, I'm sorry, he would probably do something a little bit more fucked up besides being behind the TV.
Mm.
He would probably be doing shit sinister in the background and using them to his advantage.
He would want a multiverse. That's more people to make deals with.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, that's what I mean, is being like, you do something where if he has a total organization, especially what we just, got confirmed in episode 4 of, everybody working or actually being variants the whole time, he would have, like, if it was Mephisto being like, he would have used the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm. Also, I just want to say, Marvel, I'm not expecting a trophy for predicting the entire show, but if you want to send me one, I'll take it. Even down to maybe the zappy sticks don't kill people and they just send them to an alternate dimension.
Yeah, you called that.
Once again, I don't need my trophy, but if you have one, it is deserved by someone.
This is your one, but here you go.
Oh, dude, I freaking love Star Trek. I'll take that.
Right? I'll take it if Kneale doesn't want it.
Dude, I'll take it. I get to pretend to be Picard.
He's the best captain.
Yes.
So going into the episode, once again, I love this episode, but just brief synopsis. Loki and Sylvie start some self-cest, which alerts the TVA. Once again, I feel like some people are going to think this is weird. If there was one character in the MCU who would literally fall in love with himself, it's Loki, so I'm okay with it.
I think the only problem I have with it is being, yes, like, Loki is a narcissist beyond all measure, but actually, like, seeing it on screen I think it's going to be the only romance that in a while with the MCU, I'm going to literally cringe at. Like, when they didn't kiss, I was just like, no, please don't, please. Thank you for interrupting that. Thank you. I cannot watch it. It's too much.
I don't know. I'm kind of okay with it. Like, I had to have that mental battle where it was like, if it were me and I met an alternate dimension Kneale, would I think they were hot?
Okay, I was actually on this conversation with my roommate watching it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure, like, some of us would actually, like, view ourselves as the perfect dating partner. But then again, there's also 2 others where it's just like, if you want to be real here, of being like, I can't stand you. What?
Oh yeah, I fully agree. But I don't know. I'm not really a narcissist or anything, but if it was like, yo, somebody to watch movies with that I know they're gonna like the movies for, dude, I'll date you. That's all I need. I don't care if you're me.
My parents keep teasing me, saying that if anyone's gonna date me, they have to love Disney. And I was like, well, that's not entirely true. I mean, if you like other things, that's cool too. I'm not gonna make you watch. I'm not gonna make you love Disney. Come on. I'm more than just a Disney person, guys.
Of all of us, though, I think you are most likely to date yourself. Like, I think you'd be like, oh, hey, new best friend. And then it would slowly grow.
I've been dreaming of a true love scam.
Well, and also, too, I was going to say, to play on with that point, it being like, Sher, like, I know you said being like, it doesn't have to be like a requirement, but it would be better if your partner likes Disney movies, though. It would just be like, yes, you can play being like, oh, it doesn't matter, but low key, if you, I dated guys who do not like anime, and I first thought I could do it, and I was like, nope. And I can't watch anything. So.
I have a plate of food beside me that I will eat after this episode, and my cat is just not happy about it. He just keeps looking at it like, Father, please? And I'm like, no, you can't.
Yes.
I haven't eaten in 20 minutes. I'm starving.
Father, you're not touching the food, and it is relatively close to the ground.
I guess
it's fine, yes?
These graham crackers then, right? I apologize for eating graham crackers if this is making your cat sick.
I mean, Mort will eat Doritos. Like, not even kidding. He's taken my Dorito packets and just been like, give me this shit.
Oh no, then you'll laugh. Like my cat right now, he will take anybody's food so badly. Like we've had to rip out full slices of pizza out of his mouth because he would just dash.
We just want to talk about cats and dogs today. We just want to talk about pets.
That's what we were doing before we started recording.
The secret life of pets. The secret life of pets.
Except for the owner's point of view. Like, look at my baby, it's so cute. No, look at my baby, it's so cute.
He's literally hiding behind my table for the computer, like, the second you leave, Kneale.
I mean, Homeward Bound is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I like Homeward Bound.
Especially,
anyways, Loki.
Well, I grew up more with the 90s, like the Incredible Journey one too, but like, I freaking love that movie.
So
I love too, but can't watch it the same after knowing the behind the scenes shit.
So just finishing the plot synopsis of Loki real quick.
Yes.
The TVA takes him in. Lady Sif gets a cameo where she beats the shit out of Loki. But what was the woman's name? B-15? Was it?
Yes.
Yes.
B-15 and Sylvie team up. Mobius gets pruned. Loki gets pruned. The Time Lords aren't real.
They're just androids.
And then Loki wakes up in another dimension while Sylvie has taken Ravonna hostage.
Oh,
I'm just gonna say it. This can be my Mephisto. I don't care.
Where did B-15 go off? Did she get killed? I didn't know.
Oh, she got knocked out.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering, like, where is she?
She had to fight two soldiers one-on-one, and she got, like, hit in the head.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it, and I don't care. I don't care. Kang the Conqueror. Kang the Conqueror is behind the TVA. It is either Kang the Conqueror or another Loki.
I mean, Kang the Conqueror would kind of make sense.
His girlfriend.
I guess it also too. Well, no, another Loki would also too kind of make sense just because there's how much emphasis, like in the, because I wasn't here with you guys with like the other episodes. So
Did I hear a sink?
Yes, I'm just washing my hands real quick. Like that.
We're filming.
Hey, me graham crackers.
Accidentally touched something that I wasn't supposed to. For that. Sorry that I practice good hygiene.
Yes.
How dare you? I'm just rubbing up on my cat the whole episode. It's fine.
Wash your hands, kids.
See.
Stay healthy.
All the signs are pointing to Kang. Ravonna's here. That's Kang's girlfriend. Time travel. That's Kang's MO. There are robots, and there needs to be a mastermind. It's fucking Kang the Conqueror. It has to be.
In the world as we know it.
Well, but also to be fair, Kneale, this is kind of giving me flashbacks of when we did WandaVision. We were also pretty convinced that it was Mephisto the whole time. And Agatha still, but we were only right about Agatha, or mostly you guys, yes, and I started falling into it a little bit later, but still, I just learned being like, yes, you are right, it is going with the obvious choices, especially those who know the comics, but they fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, no.
Shame on them.
Yeah, honestly, if they pull like another thing where it's like, yes, it makes every logical sense to be this character, but it's not, I think at this point I'm gonna be like, are you doing this on purpose? Are you intentionally doing this?
Oh, they would have to be at that point. Like I said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, yeah. That's why I'm not putting my heart in this one as much. Like I believe you, and I'm on your side. I'm not gonna believe it fully until I actually see it.
That's smart. I do wonder who it could be besides Kang, but real fast, because you know, we're in a theory right now. Jack, could you bring us back to normalcy with a couple notes?
Sure. Last note I wrote that I'm going to address first. Fuck, that was a good episode.
I mean, that's the review right there. We could just stop.
Right?
Awesome.
Bringing out the F-bomb.
Yeah, no, I know, I'm using it sparingly. But, no, first note I took, and I've got this note several times throughout this episode. Love the soundtrack. There were so many great bits of music throughout this episode as well. Even just what they played over the recap was really strong. There's just walking down the hallway to visit the timekeepers and everything. Music has been great for this whole show, but I actively wrote it down like 4 times throughout this episode. So definitely give it a shout out here.
Oh yeah, the music has been sort of like, again, it's like this techno Viking blend that I've never heard before, and it's amazing. I'm with you, man.
Right, I definitely have to say, like, out of the show so far, like, the opening especially is, I think, like, one of my favorites so far. Of course, like, nothing beats, like, the classic WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
WandaVision. Yeah, but...
Or Agatha.
I finally got that out of my head, Sher. After all time.
I've been meaning to bring this up for a while now, and I keep forgetting. But I think one of my honest to God favorite things about the show is actually the end credit scene that plays, because it is so mysterious and has so many little clues of where the show is going. Like, it's just incredible to see, man. I love the Marvel end credits. They're always so good.
The Winter Soldiers was okay.
I mean, yeah, but WandaVision was really good.
I'm still trying to actually like truck through Falcon and Winter Soldier. Honestly, it's kind of a drag.
Really, I loved it.
I think week to week I loved it. I don't plan to rewatch them.
In 8 hours. 8 hours. I watched all 6 episodes. It was worth it.
Well,
Woo.
Right. Okay. Like I'm still trying to watch it, but I guess like in comparison to like WandaVision and now Loki, it's kind of a drag. Like it was definitely less than what I was hoping. Like I was so far, but I'll just have to finish the show.
Yeah, Loki is definitely better. Is kind of the problem. Any more notes, Trevor?
Next note took the opening shot over the mountain and the reveal of Asgard. And getting Sylvie's backstory a little here. I really like that.
I thought we were going to like get some, because there's a scene in the trailers. I've been intentionally not bringing it up because I thought it would pop up. But there's a scene in the trailers where Loki is in Asgard, just chilling next to the throne. So in my head, I was like, is this going to be that scene? But I was pleasantly surprised to see baby Sylvie.
Looking more like our baby Tom Hiddleston Loki with the long black hair as well here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I also too, like, for a second, but of course when I mean a second, I mean a literal second. I first like switch it up and being like, wait, that Helena, just because the actress who plays Sylvie has blonde hair right now, and the child actress that they chose to play her younger counterpart had long, darker hair. So it, for a literal second, we were just like, wait, are we getting like Helen mix? And then of course, like they come and be like, okay, that's Sylvie.
You know, actually, for a second, I thought the same thing, because if you noticed, one of her toys is a big wolf. So just for a minute, I thought the same thing.
Yeah,
I think she's like recreating that backstory we get for Valkyrie and Hela, that fight scene that we see in Ragnarok, because she's saying it's like, oh, and then Valkyrie came in and saved the day.
And there was a point where I liked Ravonna. I liked her like relationship with frickin' Mobius. The second when Sylvie was like breaking down and she was like, why did my timeline have to be erased? And she just goes, I don't remember. I was like, fuck you. You need to die right now.
I know. I was like, you liar. You are lying.
My point of hating her was actually the interaction between her and more. Shit, why am I fucking up with names?
Mobius.
Cher does the same thing.
I
You're
did
good.
the same thing. I kept saying Morbius instead of
Yeah.
Mobius.
Yes, but that scene, that was when I hate her. Of course, like when Sylvie confronted her and she's like, I don't recall you, like, was just salt in the wound of my hatred. But she was totally dismissing, his, what he was talking about and kind of discrediting his feelings about the matter. Like when he was just like, hey, what happened to the other variant? Oh, we just, she was too dangerous. We killed her, and he was like, but she seemed fine. Oh, don't worry about it. This celebration, like, this is what you wanted. And being like, you're a shitty fucking friend. Or more. I don't know. Like, yeah, they were hinting that it could have been possibly more with him, but it's just like, you're kind of a shitty partner right now. But then after what was revealed, it was like, okay, I kind of know why now. But still, you're shitty. And fuck you.
I've been saying it before, and I've been saying it again. Everything is not what it seems.
I mean,
I love that theme song, by the way.
Was it deliberately less? I'm just looking at this episode, and literally, right after they got taken by the TVA, I was like, this is gonna be the best episode, isn't it? And I normally don't feel like that. I like to judge it slowly, but I was like, all right, Mobius is here. All these characters are together now. We're going to see interactions we were not ready for. And the end of the episode had that same quality that episode 2 had, where it was like, this feels like a finale.
Yeah. But again, there's still 2 more episodes after this.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen.
I'm slightly fearful that the next episode is going to be similar to episode 3, where it's like, the whole episode is just going to be this talking. But at the same time, I think I kind of want that, because now these new characters at the end, which I guess we can go in for now, they interest the hell out of me. First of all, I'll go through all of them, because some of them are comic book specific.
Yes, please enlighten me. Please.
The one in the middle is Kid Loki, who I have mentioned a couple times on camera. Sylvie is partially based off of this character. His whole thing, in the comics at least, is he makes a deal with some sort of mother of Asgard, some eldritch being, where it's like, hey, I want to do better for all of the sins I did. So can I be good? And she's like, yes, if you do all of these things, you can be good. So that's kind of Kid Loki's thing. He doesn't want to become adult Loki. The other Loki in the background, I don't know who that's supposed to be. That's Loki's comic book accurate costume that they're wearing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's 4 of them.
Well, what I'm reading, though, is that it's close to, old school Loki, the older franchise. So that's who we, because we were talking about the same thing, being like, who are these comic variants? And the closest one we got was being like, that one has to be old Loki.
I mean,
wait a minute.
Jack.
Did you figure out who the actor is?
Yeah.
Did you? Are you freaking out? Because I think
it's Admiral Pride from Star Wars. It's the Great Intelligence from Doctor Who. I'm blanking on his name and it's bugging me.
I googled it last night and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, it's been. Oh, what's it? How do you? I'm a terrible Brit. I should know this off the top of my head.
It's all right. You figure it out.
It's Richard E. Grant. I was trying to.
Thank you. Who played the Doctor himself in a thing that never became canon back before the reboot. And yeah, Richard E. Grant. I remember hearing he was going to be in this. That completely slipped my mind until right now, looking at it, I'm like, this will be fun.
I want to draw attention to Crocodile Loki, because Crocodile Loki sent me down a rabbit hole where I was like, what is this a reference to? This has to be a reference to something. And I failed to find it. I thought maybe this is like Loki from the same universe as Spider-Ham. Maybe this is like Loki from like Throg's universe or whatever. No, it's just a crocodile. There's nothing that I could find in the comics that represents a crocodile Loki.
Yeah.
So curious, sir.
Well, the last thing I'll bring up, and the thing that made me go, oh my god, that other Loki, the one that isn't old Loki, isn't crocodile Loki, and isn't kid Loki, that dude's got a hammer.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, is that Mjolnir? Is that dimension's Mjolnir? I think that might be a Loki from a dimension where he was essentially Thor. Like, he did all of Thor's stuff. And
Yeah.
I am all about that dude. I need to learn more about him. I need to see that. I am obsessed with this dude, and he better be the focus of the next episode. I feel like he probably will be.
Yeah, classic Loki, kid Loki, and boastful Loki.
I think classic Loki, played by Richard E. Grant, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that Richard E. Grant was going to be like, he looks like an older Tom Hiddleston. So I thought he was going to be behind the TVA for a minute. And he was going to be like an evil Loki. But no, it seems like he's going to be like the classic version, but old. Which I am for.
You got Richard E. Grant to agree to this dressed up in your green and yellow spandex with the cape and the horns, and
you love it though, right? Look at it.
This is amazing.
This episode is amazing.
And I do just want to point out before we move on from that last shot of the four of them, we have a destroyed Avengers Tower in the background.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, they're in New York. But destroyed post-apocalyptic looking thing.
I believe with all of my heart that what they are doing, they think that they're like cutting off these branches. But I think what they're actually doing, because the Time Lords lied to them, they're all variants. So what they're instead doing is putting all the variants in one place. And I'm wondering what that's going to do. And I'm wondering what cameos we could see in the next episode, because we're going to somewhere where all variants just roam, right? So
we've only seen Loki variants for now.
Right.
But it is quite possible that we'll see everyone, because again, Mobius disappeared. He was pruned. So.
C20.
That's true.
Yeah,
but the way Loki got there was the same way they've just been killing people in our eyes. So theoretically, like, there wasn't anything special about it. It wasn't like, oh, this is a special Loki stick that will send him somewhere else. No, Loki got disintegrated, and he ended up here. And let's be honest, they're not going to kill. They're not going to kill Mobius.
I wasn't sure.
Oh, I wasn't either for a minute. I thought maybe there was going to be a Mobius clone, but the second Loki disintegrated, I was like, nah, okay. Nah,
yeah.
I get this.
When Mobius was pruned, I was like, oh my gosh.
I know, me too.
But then when Loki was pruned, I'm like, okay, they probably haven't killed him off. But equally, I would kind of love it if they had.
Oh yeah.
It reminds me of, and minor spoilers for the first season of Attack on Titan. You've been warned. It reminded me of when Eren died, and I'm like, whoa, that's a really ballsy move.
Right.
You're good, Sher. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay. Just plug my ears.
But it's the Romeo and Juliet thing. It's like, sure. I mean, that you can kill off the title character. You don't need to keep them around. And we've just introduced Sylvie, who can sort of be our new Loki character in the MCU going forward if we kill off him.
If the episode would have stopped right there, I would be right there with you. And it kind of did.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were like, no. stay calm, bitches. I kind of respect that more because now I'm like, ooh, these Lokis.
I know. I'm more excited for this angle, but
I just want to draw attention to episode 2 for a minute, where Mobius is showing images of like Lokis they have pruned. One of those is a Hulk Loki.
Yeah.
yeah, we have these CG renders of these characters. We can use them in this coming episode.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, man. Abomination popped up in the Shang-Chi trailer. There's no logic anymore.
Anything could happen.
I think I'm trying to think of my favorite episode, and there were so many good moments. The Sif cameo was great, by the way. I literally did exactly what Loki did. I went, Sif! I think my favorite moment, though, has to be where Loki just... The scene where he's, like, trying to avoid the beating, and he just tells Sif, like, I crave attention, and I'm alone, and I always will be alone, and I hurt people because I think it's... I'm sorry. And she just helps him up, looks him in the eyes, and goes, you're always going to be alone. And doesn't hit him.
Right.
Doesn't kick him in the balls. But yet that freaking sentence was like, oh, that's a massive kick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like it made like because you gotta like just imagine it from like a creator's point of perspective of being like how many times he went through that same scenario over and over, and especially like the way he was right before he said that he's like, fuck, how many times can I get kicked in the balls? Let this be over. And yeah, and to me it's just like that when she didn't hit him and said that, both Eli and I both said to each other, being like, yeah, that probably hurt worse than the thousands of kicked in the balls that he just received in a course of the span that he's trapped in this loop.
Yep.
I've said this a couple times on stream, but my favorite scene of the show still is the scene where he's watching his life. It is going to go down in history as one of my favorite Marvel moments. And here they kind of tap into that, where it's like, I'm telling you something about myself that I have been hiding from myself, but I have to admit it because maybe, just maybe, it will help me here. And every time it hurts him so bad. I love it.
I wasn't with you guys for the other like few, so it's just like, like I don't know if I talked about my favorite scenes from the one point I will have to you is I did not like 3 episode 3 because one of the problems, especially like with the first 2 episodes had, and then all of a sudden episode 3, it felt like it dragged. And it felt a little bit distracting from the point. I don't mind funny moments. I don't mind distracting moments until it drags. It's kind of like the difference in Sher. I'm going to mention like anime just really quick, but not drag it. It's like an anime where it's like it's a difference between a filler episode to a filler season. Episode to me felt like a filler season, being like, this wasn't needed, this wasn't warranted. Why did you do this? And I get like majority of it was to have Loki being the narcissist he is, bond with himself. I got that, but to me so far it is the weakest episode, just because like it also did not grab my attention. Like I felt like if I wasn't so focused on watching episode 3, that I could have been slightly distracted and just been like, oh, the show's over. Cool.
This is dog Kneale. From
How
the
many other variants do you have?
Well, there's a whole multiverse of Kneales. Like, there's ironically enough, there is a Loki Kneale. There is Sexy Kneale, who his name is a lie. He's ugly as shit. And I'm Sexy Kneale. There is Hawkeye Kneale. That's me.
The purple hair. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's one more, which is the world is going to end, so why do we even bother, Kneale? That one is not fun at parties, so I haven't talked to him much.
Yeah, I have my own variants too. This is one of them.
Just before we move on from that sort of scene with Sif, do we know if she survived Endgame or not?
She lived. Confirmed by Taika Waititi, she lived through Ragnarok.
Okay.
Who? Hela?
No. Sith. Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering, being like, I know you mentioned Ragnarok and being like, you're either talking about like Sif here or Hela, and being like, you can't be Hela yet.
There are rumors that she may have a romance with Valkyrie, but those are just rumors. She is going to be in the movie, though. She's going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Nice.
That'd be
It was
interesting.
one of those things, because I remember she had a cameo. I haven't seen all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but she had a cameo in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
I saw that episode. She did.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, cool. Are we just going to keep bringing her back for just little cameos and never give her anything else? But no, if she's going to be in Love and Thunder, great.
I'm kind of okay with it for now. Like, her cameo here was cool. And I'm just glad they remember she existed. Like, it's when, once again, to bring it back to that, it's like when we saw Abomination and we were all like, oh yeah, you.
How did you get out of the raft? What's going on?
Don't worry about it. I'm going to punch Wong. By the way, confirmed that is Wong. I believe Kevin Feige confirmed it.
Nice.
I think that with Sif, I would love to see her come back full time, but if it's literally just cameos forever, I'm okay with this. We got somebody from Asgard. We didn't get Thor, which sucks, but we got Sif. That's cool. I wish that, honestly, I was like, and then Sif runs out of the portal. Sif goes to the TVA. Sif is part of the story now. That would have been cool. How did we feel? Because I think this is another big beat. How did we feel about Ravonna definitely becoming the villain? But because before it was up in the air, she killed somebody. She wanted to kill that kid. She has been lying for the TVA. And she totally ordered Mobius's death. She's the villain now.
Yeah.
How do we feel about that? Is this a good choice? Is it a bad choice? Once again, that elevator scene was enough for me to go like, oh, you're such a bitch. I hate you.
Okay. Like I said, it was like her and, Morbius's talk before. I guess I'll go first. I actually don't mind it, but I felt like it was a little bit too predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, because with the exception of episode besides the beginning, the more you saw her, the more it was, at least for me, it became more predictable of being like she knows a little bit more. She doesn't have, full good intent here, and it just kept going more and more so the more times I saw her. And then once the scene with her and Morbius, chatting, that was my key point of being like, okay, you're going to be like the minor villain right now, or the main villain at the moment. Just because it was just like, yeah, she may have seemed nice to some, but you knew something was up with her, especially how so inanimate she was about being like, I told you, you can't meet the Keepers, you can't do this, you can't do that, and then all of a sudden being like, oh yeah, they want to create an audience.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Sure, you're good. And I'm the queen of space.
I like her so far. I do agree with you. It was a little predictable. Like, if anyone was going to be the villain, it was Loki or it was her. What do you think,
Right.
Jack? You got any opinions?
I think I didn't hate. I mean, I hated her when we pruned Mobius. But the elevator, the lift scene, I thought was just a kind of interesting dynamic almost there, where it's like time works differently here. Who knows how long ago that was? Asgardians or Jotunheimians don't age at the same rate as us humans. So from Sylvie, from a kid to now, thousands of years. So that was a long time ago. She probably legitimately doesn't remember what it was.
Oh, I agree.
And we see in that scene she's just another Minuteman there.
Yeah, no.
So she's just being sent on this mission. I don't think she knew. I'm curious how she ascended to this position of power. But from how we ended off, it's very much okay, now tell me everything at gunpoint. So, okay, next episode.
I think the reason that scene worked for me wasn't the fact that, like, she said she forgot. Because honestly, yeah, you would forget. It was that she smiled while she said it.
Yeah.
It was like, I forgot, fuck you.
Yeah.
It was a sarcastic, contemptuous tone of, in a way, like, yes, she's verbally saying it was so long ago I can't remember, but it's coming across snarky as being like, oh no, I know you, because as like I pointed out when I was watching it with my roommate, she's the one that got away. And most tropes with that is just like, yeah, you'd never forget the one that got away from you.
I have met people like this in real life who will hear like somebody pleading to them desperately and go, I have a chance to hurt you here. I'm gonna take that. It was too real, and I was like, well, fuck you, Ravonna. Yeah. I feel bad for you in the comics. Here, I hate you.
Right. Yeah, and that was also too like a little bit of an interesting choice too, since brought up the comics, as being like she at least in the comic books you have a bit of sympathy for her and you actually kind of feel bad. So
well,
it's
the Mr. Freeze effect. She's like frozen. She's like sick. So I was like, oh, I want her to get out of there. Like it's the Nora Freeze.
So like with this, and actually that was a good analogy, by the way. I actually appreciate that, but making her like all of a sudden bad, like I said, it was not only predictable, but I guess those who have read the comics, I know that people who've just only seen the shows, it won't impact them as much. It's, since the dawn of like superhero movies and TV shows, I know, but it's just a weird choice. And honestly, it's just like I would have been fine if it was Sylvie over her, turning, but we got what we got. But yeah, fuck her in this version, man.
Oh yeah, fuck her. Sher, did you have anything to add about Sylvie before we talk about the Timekeepers? Not Sylvie. Ravonna. My bad.
Oh, I was getting confused. I was like, wait, what? I thought we were talking about Ravonna.
I actually have a question specifically for you, Sher. Do you think Miss Minutes is like connected to her? Because remember, that Funko Pop got released. And Ravonna, sorry, Jack was shaking his head. Ravonna's Funko Pop came with a tiny Miss Minutes. So I'm like, what is your connection? Is she a giant monster in disguise and you're about to unleash her? What's happening? What do you think? All right, cool. Jack.
No comment.
Okay.
I think there's legit a future where Miss Minutes is the one behind everything.
Oh no.
I could see that, honestly.
I mean, I can see that too, but once again, I kind of had to learn with Wanda, not going to have my heart set in anything until I see it to believe it.
I feel you. We know that Kang is going to be, like, confirmed, Kang the Conqueror is going to be in the next Ant-Man movie. And confirmed, Ravonna is his girlfriend. So I just, with all of my heart, I feel like this is safe. However, it's the Mephisto thing, so I'm scared.
Don't think it's too high. That's what I'm trying to learn from Miss Minutes here.
And that's why, unless something is confirmed, like what you said, being like, Kang is going to be confirmed in like the next Ant-Man movie. However, it's just like, that's just because they're just like, yeah, it's confirmed. We're not going to, lead you guys along. And it also seems like, I get that, like in Hollywood, and especially with movies nowadays, you have to kind of be careful with what you release, but that comes with a consequence too. Like the whole, like what happened with, with WandaVision and, and people being disappointed with like a little hint. So it's just like, yeah, I'm kind of now more guarded with Disney and Marvel now, being like, unless you use the word confirm, not gonna set my heart on it.
That's fair.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I do like the reveal because, like, I don't know if it was me or Jack who said it. It may have been Cher. It was one of the three of us. In the early episodes, I think it was episode 1, we were like, we're getting Wizard of Oz vibes from the Timekeepers.
Yeah.
Oh, that might have been Cher.
Yeah.
I thought too in episode 4, episode 4 officially confirmed it, but yeah, episode 1, yeah, I felt definitely Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah. And I think that, like, why are you biting me?
Because he loves you.
It's a girl.
She's
In this
loving
dimension, I'm a girl, as well as a
Kinda
dog.
dumb.
Oh, okay.
There's a female Kneale out there somewhere. She's hanging out. I think that the reveal was handled very well. I can't even remember. How did one of them get decapitated?
Oh,
Loki.
yeah, she like.
Yeah, hit him on, attacked him, and then, the other two started laughing. His head got cut.
Which is neat. When they laughed. I think that means something.
Jack, you're
Right.
frozen. Did you die again?
Oh, am I back?
Oh,
Yeah,
there-
you're back.
I don't know what happened. Everything froze for a second. What's up?
Oh, okay.
I think the only tiny pet peeve, which I was kind of relieved with that reveal, I really understood what they said. Like the effects on their voices, and usually Marvel's not that bad with it, but they overdid the effects where it's just like we had to turn up our volume to a reasonable point to live in an apartment, but also had to turn on subtitles and stuff because I cannot understand. We had to go back 3 times. What are they saying?
I'm with you. It's the green one that was giving me the most trouble.
Yeah, there's a reason why I always put on closed captions on everything from now on, because I can't understand a single word you idiots are saying.
I think I've been watching all these Marvel shows with subtitles. Yeah.
I have not been.
Speak up,
Which-
please.
I haven't been either, but I think it's just because I know they've used voice effects depending on the characters before. It was just not as bad as the Timekeepers at all. Even if it was revealed that they were animatronics or robots, still it's just yeah, but you've been good about your effects with with sound before, or at least that's never been one of my complaints with them. But now it's just and I have an issue with that. You overused it where I couldn't understand them.
Yeah, I'm with you. It almost felt like, at least with the green one, the green one I'll defend. Green's my favorite color. You can tell by my purple hair.
Right?
The green one, I feel like, was intentionally supposed to be mostly unlegible, because if not, that is a huge mistake on their part. If it was we're supposed to know what they're saying.
Yeah, the third one I couldn't understand a single thing that he was saying. I was but I was looking at the titles. I was looking at the subtitles. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take your word on that.
Well, and unfortunately, I think you would have kind of a fair point if they decided to go along a different route. I think it would have been a little bit more understandable if you found out the Timekeepers spoke a different language. They've done it with Marvel before with that, but still, it was just overly that's why I was glad it being okay, they're puppets and they're pretty much shut down. Thank fucking God.
So who made these robots? I am so confused. This is kind of I realized what my problem was with episode 3, kind of while watching this, because I think if this episode would have stopped right when we discovered the timekeepers, like right when we saw them, I think I would have had less good things to say. But the fact that it kept going and it was like, oh, we're going to like give you more stuff. Like, I feel like episode 3 was okay, it was fine, but like not a ton happened in terms of like developing of the story. Here, the story has developed so far. Like, we got alternate Lokis galore. We got the reveal that the timekeepers are not real. And of course, the beginning, I assume, of the TVA uprising. It's the best episode in my opinion, and it really, really brought it. But Jack, bring us back to order. Any more notes?
Yeah. So, again, top of this next page, just have soundtrack written.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was great.
I feel like for your notes for the next episode, you should just get the word soundtrack printed out on stickers. That might help you out.
Stamped down, yeah. No, when we finally got to see the timekeepers, I liked because we saw them in shadow with the glowing red like gems in their head and the misty bit with Renslayer like at the start of the episode. It's like, okay, cool. I just wrote, they live? Question mark. Okay, they're real. We were wrong, I guess. And then later we found out in this episode, no, not quite. I loved how it was revealed as well. Like they start saying something and Sylvie just decapitates one of them, throwing a blade. And I love. I was really, okay. We just killed one, cool. But the other two are just sitting there laughing.
Mm.
Okay, what's happening? What's happening? What? We catch the head, we see their robots, and they all shut down. It's like, oh, okay. In terms of who built them, I've got 4 possibilities written down. I went with, okay, Renslayer? No, because we saw she was a Minuteman before, and there was someone else in her current position in that opening scene, so probably not.
But she didn't seem surprised either.
No, that's the thing, because up until this episode when she's like, oh, she says to Mobius that they want to see you while we prove Loki. It's like they didn't need to have these physical robot puppets of them because Renslayer was sort of the mouthpiece for them. She could have just been making this all up. But that they exist and there was someone previously in her job role and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like she knew they weren't real, but does she know who made them? How much does she actually know? I think it's going to be really interesting. And on your point earlier of next episode potentially being like episode 3, but more fun because we're getting all these alternate Lokis. I think next episode we will get all that with Loki, but we also need to cut back to the TVA to get her explanation to Sylvie.
I fully agree with you, but just like episode 3, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah. My other 3 question marks were Kang, which I think, had I not known that Renslayer and Kang have a relationship in the comics, wouldn't have even crossed my mind, to be honest. Because it's like, oh, yeah, villain in this future Ant-Man film. I could see it, it'd be a cool reveal, and it would be setting him up for that film. But if that's the case, we're not going to defeat or deal with him here. Because he's going to be in this thing later down the line.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking after credit scene reveal.
Yeah, I could see that, but then I might be annoyed about that in a similar Sharon Carter being the power broker type thing.
Or
like, cool. We thought about this for the entire show. Thanks for confirming it in the last 5 minutes.
I'm with you.
My other 2 possibilities were Miss Minutes. It's the sort of Avatar representation of...
Tara Strong has been villains before.
I know.
Can you imagine her being the main antagonist of a Marvel series?
I am aware.
I don't know necessarily if we'd see her as a massive Miss Minutes or as some Eldritch Abomination or something. But I really like that idea.
Eldritch Abomination.
And my last possibility I've written down is if we, as we thought before, that this is setting up a multiverse for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, could it be whoever the villain of that's going to be? Because I think that's next year, isn't it? We're getting that villain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not too far off to introduce the big bad of that.
There are rumors. Mel, did you have anything to say before I go into
Yeah,
more
I'll
comics?
Say something.
Well, it actually, a lot of my stuff was going to be more comic related too.
Oh.
So the only part that, because actually, and Jack played on a lot of my points, to be fair, is the one thing about the TVA that kind of also too bothered me, especially with the timekeepers, is like, yeah, they gave the basic rundown in episode 1, but I feel like they're gonna do like the timekeepers are like pretty much the Wizard of Oz type of trope, being like the wizard of being like, yeah,
Pay
like,
no attention to the androids. Breaking down.
don't actually look at the little mutants behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Actually be funny, but still, it's but the part that kind of bothers me, and I'm pretty sure that this won't be the last time we actually see the timekeepers, is really like, part of their origins. A lot of people don't even, especially ones who don't read the comics, don't know anything about that, and I feel like it could have played like a little hint towards, why is the TVA doing what it's doing.
Mm-hmm. I feel that.
Yeah, like, why are they kidnapping a bunch of people that are variants and making them whatever the hell they're supposed to be?
Yeah, I
do
do
they need a
think,
workforce?
I do think we need a reason for why it's like, why are they like doing this one timeline thing?
Yeah, because that kind of just like defeats the purpose. If you're trying to stop variants, why are you kidnapping variants and turning them to one of you? I'm confused, man.
Well, so that's my point. Like, for example, like Kneale probably knows this, but it's like originally the timekeepers were created by He Who Remains. He was basically the very last director of the Time Variance Authority, or the TV as we know it now, from a different reality. And
sorry, I think I was just gonna finish your thought. Basically, He Who Remains realizes that, like, life is kind of fucked. So he's like, well, okay, you guys can try to figure this out. I'm gonna die now. Peace. And then he dies.
Right, except for, and that's why it made sense that they made a show about Loki, because his plan didn't really go according to plan when he died, because Thor technically intervened in the comics. So it actually split it from one reality to technically 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the part, and of course, that's where, the timekeepers, came in as being like, yeah, they were built to be the balance and order, which makes sense. Like, it's beautiful, but the fact that like you don't even get a sprinkle of like, hey, why is this kind of turning into shit now a little bit, especially since they did build up on the timekeepers, and they still are, because they are giving them the Wizard of Oz treatment, and I don't hate it, but it's just kind of like you're kind of making them kind of lackluster with their importance still.
Yeah, I feel that. I think that's kind of okay, but to go to what Jack was saying, I don't know if this was confirmed or denied, but there is potentially a villain for Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness announced. And I can say who it is because I guarantee most people watching this will have no idea who this guy is.
Me.
The rumor is that the villain will be Shimogorath.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
I know who that is.
I don't.
Did you play Marvel vs. Capcom?
No, I know who that is for a bizarre reason.
I want to hear this story.
Fun little tangent here. Basically, back in whatever year the first Doctor Strange came out.
2016.
2016. How do you know that off the top of your head?
I know things more.
In me being the big Lego fan that I am, and I'm really enjoying the film and being a Doctor Strange fan from the comics and TV shows and stuff. Like, probably, quite possibly one of my favorite, like, from the comics, Marvel heroes. I'm like, okay, I'll buy the Lego set for this, and it's a wee build of like the Sanctum Sanctorum. And it came with Doctor Strange, the Ancient One, and Mordo. And rather than having, I got that set before the film came out and everything, and the villain of that set is just this portal opens to this big red tentacle monster, multiple eyes and teeth. I'm like, okay, I'm ready for this movie. And then in the movie is Dormammu. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know why they made that choice, but the Lego sets are never that reliable. Where was the Mandarin's flamethrower tank in Iron Man 3, guys? Come on. But no, so I was like, okay, I learned who that was via this Lego set. And if that was predicting Doctor Strange 2, that is a very funny coincidence.
I'm just excited you know who that is.
Yeah, I did research after getting it and finding out, oh, they weren't in the film. Okay, I did my due diligence after that, but Eldritch Abomination.
I'm with you. This is how we get it. Tara Strong plays Sheila Cora.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I kind of want it. Cool. I kind of want it. She's even shaped like a circle. Just saying.
My goodness.
Shimagora
she has multiple arms. She's multiple arms. Miss Minutes has 2 arms, and the clock face has another 2 arms.
My God, this is how Mephisto became such a big thing.
This is my Mephisto now. Okay? Tara Strong is Shumagorath, who created the TVA.
I want this for you. I want this for you.
I want it for you too, but at the same time, just being like, Kate, learn from me, Jack.
Don't get your hopes too high.
So,
I mean, Lesson multiple times with a lot of Disney movies. Frozen 2.
I don't know if it's Shimagoreth though, and here's my only reasoning for that. Shimagoreth's whole thing is he kind of is trying to obtain power.
right.
Like that's his thing. And he, like, the rumor is they're bringing in American Chavez, and one of her powers is she can, like, go to different dimensions. And that's actually why Shima-Gorath wants her, to, like, get that ability. So it doesn't make sense for Shima to be, like, one timeline.
I watched some Marvel Uprising when my dad was high. It was that he had no idea who the heck Squirrel Girl was, and it was very funny explaining
One of our first conversations as friends were you describing Squirrel Girl to your dad while he was high. It was beautiful. What was that though, Mel?
I'm sorry, that took me back because Sher and I were talking before you two joined in for quite a bit. She mentioned she was Catholic, and of course I respect that, of course, but then all of a sudden she's like, my dad was high, and I was just like, but you guys are Catholic. What? You're high on what? He smokes the ganja, he smokes the weed, and he's Catholic? I want to meet your dad. I personally don't partake, but your dad sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. He is very cool. Very, very interesting man.
Nice.
One of his nicknames that he gave me as a child was Einstein. I have no idea what the hell that means. Just go with it.
Hey kids, Dog Kneale from another dimension says it's not cool to smoke drugs, so don't do it.
Unless it's weed, smoke all the drugs you want.
I don't care, man.
Green,
Channel
Loki,
doesn't
there we go.
Yes, Loki. Green is weed. Weed is green. Loki. That one alternate version of Loki, the old one, he looks like he does drugs.
Well, I'm imagining the President Loki. One of his slogans is just legalize it, you know?
Right.
I'm green, so is it.
Oh, wait. Bring me back to the plot point, Neil. Of me beating Thanos to have his weed farm.
Yeah, that's from the old days.
Oh, yeah.
Now my cat wants to be in the video.
Everybody wants to be in the video.
They just want my food.
Mm.
They just want my shrimp. They
Yeah.
can't have it.
Then I've only got 2 notes left from this episode, both of which pertaining to the post-credit scene. Being a fun thing, and one of the reasons I do watch with the subtitles is when Loki says, "Is this hell? It's hell with a single L," which is
Right.
a nice way
Oh,
to
that's
Yeah.
But then the other one, Loki's WTF! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark!
That's me too.
And that's my notes on this episode. Where
This means that not only did the TVA like take out a kid with their pokey stick, but then they also killed an alligator. What
Yeah.
did that alligator do? I want the story of what that alligator did and why it is able to wear a hat.
He must have swallowed something really big.
Or
He
maybe
swallowed the
something
tesseract.
Like Goose the cat.
right. I see it like this though, and I actually like had this whole entire scenario in my head. He probably ate something, whether it was a person
Mhm.
or an animal. Sorry, I can't say it out loud. Okay, he either ate that he was supposed to eat, but he ate it a day prior to when he was supposed to be in trouble. Being like, you had your food before dinner, and now you spoiled dinner. You're being punished.
I mean, I'm imagining this is from a reality where it was like, I could have adopted this frost giant child, but instead, I saw this dope-ass alligator. And then I thought, what if I made that my kid?
we need to find Anthony Hopkins and get him to record that.
Just that same scene where he's like looking at the baby and it's like changing color, but then an alligator just walks up behind it and he's like, yo, that's cool. I do actually want to.
I'd love if it is like a Spider-Ham universe type thing.
Oh yeah.
But equally, I'd so love if just it's never explained. For just the next episode, Kid Loki is just carrying this crocodile with the hat, and it never talks. No one addresses it. It's just there for the whole thing.
And then in episode 6, it grows into like a kaiju monster and fights Smith Minutes. I'm just saying, if that's how the show ends, this is not only the best episode of Loki, this is the best MCU product.
Hello, child.
Now, there is actually one more thing I wanted to bring up, and I wanted this to intentionally be the last thing. Because I know it's dog Sher from an alternate dimension.
Alpha, that is a place that you're not supposed to put your stuff on.
Don't worry, that dog is wild, and he will destroy the world of your
Hi,
living
Dad.
room.
He
He will
says
eat your
hi.
dignity.
That was
Hi,
my
Sher's dad.
dad.
Okay, I wanted to bring this up
He
last.
thought he was not supposed to put his paws.
Did he eat your DVD player?
No. Oh, I saw
Well, hold on, before I forget.
my Nickelodeon stuff right here.
Nice.
Before I forget, I want to bring this up, and this can be the end. I have a theory about that guy with the golden hammer. I don't think this is true, but it occurs to me that if it is true, I could be the only person on the internet to say it. So I'm going to say it.
Well, obviously, you're not the only person who thought about it.
Okay.
Then I'm uploading this video early. I'll be the first.
You're in the minority anyway. Let's see what you're thinking.
Okay. So the hammer is gold. There's another Marvel character who has a gold hammer. However, he is traditionally a horseman.
Yes.
So maybe I'm just thinking this could be an alternate dimension version of Beta Ray Bill. Maybe, or alternate, Loki could have taken the hammer from Beta Ray Bill. And maybe that's why he's here.
I mean, that would be a really interesting character to bring up. Because, yeah, well, as soon as you mentioned being like golden hammer, I was like, no.
That hammer's gold.
His face was in Ragnarok.
Look, I think in the future, There are few times when fans have to demand something from Marvel, because usually Marvel just gives it to you before you even get the chance.
Right.
But one of those things is Beta Ray Bill. People have wanted to see him. I almost said Bal. Beta Ray Bal. I wonder if like they're like, well, we can't do a horse dude the whole movie. But what if we threw in this reference to him? I don't know. I want the Horseman. I want it more than I can describe to you fine people. But that hammer is... He's not a centaur.
Oh.
I'll put a picture in the chat for you.
Yay!
I put one in during Falcon and Winter Soldier.
But I wasn't there, silly.
Beta Ray Bill is essentially... He's like a golden horseman version of Thor.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Basically, there's really no other way that could have described him.
Seriously, where the hell is my Marvel encyclopedia?
Well, here's the thing, and this is why it could be applicable. Oh, Beta Ray Bill is surely in there, by the way. He comes from a dimension where... Not from a dimension.
Be a horse?
That's a horse.
Why the long face?
He comes from
He's
a
not
planet...
literally a horse. He's an alien thing.
He comes from a planet where most of his people have been destroyed, but a very select few of them, including himself for a little while, have been captured. So his whole thing is he needs to like find the people who captured his like people and slowly go around the galaxy and find them, because some were sold into slavery, some had to fight on Sakaar, stuff like that.
Oh, like Spirit.
Yes, kind of like Spirit, but in space with hammers.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I actually did they make a brief reference to that in Ragnarok?
In Ragnarok, sort of the tower that the Hulk is living in, that has like the faces of all the previous champions carved into it. One of them's Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You know, for some reason I thought you guys could, I don't know why, and it's weird. I keep hearing things that I don't know why I keep thinking things, but I thought you guys said Beyblade for a second.
Beyblade Bill. Oh, that's some sad dad out there. That's a sad dad who's trying to impress his kids.
Or it's probably some sad nerd troll in his like 30s, and that's his username.
This is where Jack reveals just a whole chest of Beyblades.
No, I was Bakugan. That was me.
Dude, I'm with you. I fucking love Bakugan.
And of course Pokemon, because
Wait, can you get them all? Can you get them all? You saw that
Catch them all.
poster, right?
Catch
You
them
saw
all.
that poster?
yeah.
I mean,
Did you get them all? I know that's not the main thing. I'm not.
Close.
I only know Pikachu and Mew, and
you're
that's
trying
it.
to do songs. Okay. Yeah. But to go on with Kneale's point, yeah, he's been in high demand for a long time. It would be I think this would be kind of a perfect fit to, even if it's just another reference, it'd be a nice reference to him being like, because he has been in high demand since the MCU became popular.
I know.
He's in the top 5 most demanded characters of all time. But
Wow.
I don't know if it would completely work in this show.
Mm.
I think you can name drop him.
Yeah.
Again, because it's an alternate dimension. If there's any point you're going to mention the existence of this character, I feel like a parallel universe, erased variant version of Loki carrying a magical golden hammer. I think general audiences can accept Magical Horseman being brought up by that guy.
Yeah.
Look at my horse. My horse
It also could connect because, you know, the MCU likes to like, they do the George Lucas thing with the comics where it's like not exact, but it rhymes. Like, T'Challa's dad dies, and then T'Challa has to take up the role of Black Panther, but instead of dying at the hands of M'Baku, this time it happened because Zemo bombed the UN or whatever.
Right.
There are little things like that. Like, Hawkeye is still a villain, technically, when the Avengers first encounter him, like it was in the comics, but this time he's under mind control.
Right.
It's one of those things where it's like, it could be, oh, the TVA destroyed Beta Ray Bill's people, but not all of them, because some of them were like in a different dimension, so now he's looking for them. I can see that working.
I it worked, and I think you did bring up a good point of being like, because it's just Hollywood in general, of being like, they have to take some creative liberties, like, yeah, I don't think general audience goers, especially since you brought up the Hawkeye being originally a villain, being like I said, there's Marvel comic fans and then there's MCU fans. And MCU fans I've kind of put in the same category as general audiences.
Me.
It would be too much or too mature for some of them to bring it up for like the actual origins, and also to, even though Disney owns pretty much like, you know, the rights to Marvel, it's still a copyright issue too.
I feel that. And it might not be Beta Ray Bill. It might not. But when I see
We
golden
saw a
hammers,
colored hammer, and you went, yeah.
when I see golden hammers, I'm like, I know that. I know that.
Nice.
Well, yeah, because he's one of the biggest characters who has, you know, a distinct weapon that people know. So I would actually be surprised if it was referring to anyone else other than him, especially like that he's been in demand since the MCU took the superhero genre by storm, of, you know, more than a decade ago.
So, here's the thing. I'm eating shrimp, but I'll power through this sentence.
I love you.
Me too, babe. So, what it is the Loki show has promised weird cameos. So before we go into our rankings and final thoughts, I want everyone to pitch an alternate version of an Avenger we would like to see in the next episode. And it doesn't have to be in the comics. You could go total crocodile Loki with this if you wanted to.
Oh God, then I'm gonna have too much fun. I have like a list already in my head.
I don't think this is going to happen, but if in New York there is a black suited Spider-Man just swinging through the wreckage, I would flip.
The Night
Wait.
Monkey.
Specifically, are you meaning like an alternative Spider-Man where he actually pairs up with the Venom
Yeah,
symbiote?
that's actually a thing. There are totally dimensions where it's like Spider-Man.
I know, but you have to be kind of careful because there's different variants of Black Spider-Man.
Yeah, I would just show, if it's me, I would show Spider-Man swinging. We know it's him, but we're far enough away where all we can see is a black suit and a white spider. That's all I need. That's all I need. What do you guys think?
I don't know why I keep thinking about Deadpool. Or Black Widow as a legitimate Black Widow.
I mean, Black Widow's comic book accurate suit was like blue and with things on her head, so it would be weird to see Scarlett Johansson like that.
Right, as tradition. Well, it's also too like, because I'm assuming, especially since you Jack pointed out, you know, the broken down like Avengers building. I'm going to assume, or like in New York and stuff, I'm going to assume that they're probably around the Avengers timeline or era, except for it's an alternative version.
Yeah.
Like, what if they did not do what they did in Avengers? So I have kind of a thought of being like, especially if they're bringing like things like plastic Loki and stuff, I almost kind of think it would be.
Mal, you are incredibly hard to hear. Are you using water again?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Kinda.
Hold on. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Remember, kids, wash your hands regularly, but not during recordings.
Stay healthy.
Well, this like doctor approved.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
For now.
I would have liked to see, especially since they are kind of making cameos referencing to Thor, I kind of almost want to see somebody in the Thor mythos that you're not expecting. Like, actually, I would be down seeing an alternative version of Hela if possible.
Oh, that'd
Like,
be cool.
The Avengers are pretty much like, yeah, because it makes sense to me being like, well, because this is a different universe, technically they didn't defeat her.
I can see that.
That could be cool. Maybe a dark elf or two there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bring back Christopher Eccleston.
I was thinking about saying him. I don't know if that's gonna happen though. It'd be
No,
cool.
no.
I want to see an alternate version of Thanos there. I think that could be cool. You got anybody to share?
Oh, I thought I said something about Black Widow, but I don't know.
Oh, my bad.
I think I'd go for I'd like to see an old man like Hank Pym, Michael Douglas variant of some kind. Like perhaps him still. Maybe he never handed off the mantle to Scott, and he tried to fight the Yellow Jacket and everything in the first Ant-Man film. No, you're not meant to do that.
Cool.
Parallel universe, here you go.
I think
Just 'cause I love Michael Douglas and I love Ant-Man. So
I think what I would do with that is bring in Hope Van Dyne's Wasp, but she's like wearing the Ant-Man suit, and it's like damaged, and she's older. Maybe this is a timeline where like she was the only survivor on the Ant-Man team.
Bring Evangeline Lilly's Hope. Bring her in as like wearing like the comic suit or something.
I mean, we got a cameo from Chris Evans at the beginning where they used a different take of the Loki thing from Endgame. So anything's possible, dude. We could see a Horseman. Who knows? Horseman.
Cool.
Gonna get a little weird. Gonna get a little wild. I ain't from around here. I'm from another dimension.
Gonna get a little weird.
I know 64 was terrible, but I freaking love that theme song.
Oh yeah. Last season was meh, but
I'm talking rainbows. I'm talking puppies. Let's go into final thoughts. Mel, let's start with you. Any final thoughts before you give your ranking? Well, do your final thoughts and then the ranking.
She said, "Hold on." I think she's mute.
She's dead. She's dead.
Yep.
Is there another time variant?
Pour one out for Mel. That's my harmonica.
You. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah. Cher, do you want to give your final thoughts and ranking then? You can go first.
I guess since I pretty much talked the least out of everybody during this recording.
I'll say whatever you want to say. You are welcome.
I think this is a good episode. I like the interaction with Mobius and Loki. I know he was like, "You're lying," and a few seconds later, it's like, "Oh, I guess you might be telling the truth after all." I knew there was something off about B-15 because she kept getting those weird looks because of what Sylvie did to her mind. But everything is not what it seems to be. I knew there was something off about TVA. I just had that feeling. I'm like, it's gonna be one of those things where they're gonna like kidnap a bunch of people and just erase all their memories and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And at first I was sad about when Loki got pruned, but then I realized I was like, wait, if Mobius got pruned, then Loki did too. Then maybe Mobius and Loki are still there. Who knows? Maybe Mobius. I don't know. Maybe Mobius might be there in the next episode. I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm just wondering what's gonna happen with Sylvie and Ravonna.
I do actually. there's something we forgot. Did you guys notice that? Hi, Mel. Before you give your ranking, Cher, did you guys notice that at the beginning during the recap, it was like it showed that scene of Ravonna talking to Mobius, and it was like, so who's this other informant you got? Who's this other operative?
Yeah.
And they didn't answer that this episode. And I'm wondering, who do we think that is?
I don't know.
Well, I like it. I'm not getting my hopes up this time. Learn my lesson.
Yeah, not Mephisto.
Oh yeah.
So
Don't throw salt in the wound and lean towards Mephisto. But what I'm feeling, it would have to be somebody of importance that is linked to the TVA.
I mean, the big theory that I have, and this is the only thing I got, because in the comics, in the same ones Mel referenced earlier, it is established that there are several different clones of Mobius.
Yeah.
So maybe it's another Mobius? Although that would be weird if there's like 3 Mobiuses all on a jet ski going into the sunset together at the end. Although I kind of want that.
I mean, also, too, when they were, I forgot the term, perched, poofed, sucked up. I'm spacing it, but they never had people died.
Pruned.
They never specifically said, though that's why it did not catch me by surprise. I was like, they never said that was it.
What I wonder if what that dimension is what if after a place gets pruned, they like combine on top of each other?
Or
This is just when thing gets dumped.
Maybe.
Other thing is like, especially, it's going back to episode 1 of how the TVA has functioned before any of this happened, is like, having them reset. And my theory is, especially since it's like, pruning, they're not specifically said that they met their end, and that any variant that gets punished is sentenced to be reset. I'm wondering if maybe Morbius got reset, but Loki's immune to being reset.
Maybe. I mean, something else I want to bring up, just because I have a feeling this is where theories are going to go now, and then we'll go right back to Cher. They name dropped vampires in this. They name dropped them.
Vampires.
What was it?
Which might be a reference to actual Morbius, or maybe even Blades.
Well, yeah, you actually said something correct, maybe. Woo!
Cher, would you like to finish your final thoughts and then go into your ranking?
Yeah, I've just been, while you guys were talking, I was actually looking up some Miss Minute stuff, and I found a theory that she might be evil.
She's totally evil, dude.
I don't want her to be, though. I mean,
if she's a villain, she might come back again in the future, so who knows?
Sure. I mean, I do like Terry Strong as evil characters, like, I mean, at one point she did play, like, Poison Ivy. I do like her as Ember from Danny Phantom. Others that I cannot think off the top of my head, but yeah. I mean, Harley's kind of like a mixed bag for me, though. But, like, yeah, maybe Miss Minutes might be that. I'm not fully gonna commit to it just yet. I have to wait and see if this is actually true. I'm just gonna put it in the back of my little head right here. Say maybe, just maybe, Miss Minutes might be evil.
Eldritch Abomination. We'll see.
Eldritch Abomination. I mean, I was really into the episode. It's just I'm not gonna give it like a 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll give it a 9.
Yeah. A 9?
Yeah.
That's still a high ranking. I respect that. I'll go into my final thoughts and rankings now, which I literally said at the beginning.
Come on, Miss Minutes, just
10 out of 10. This episode was great. I feel like I could talk about this episode for a very long time. Again, my ranking system, 10 out of 10, doesn't mean it was perfect. It just means it was super significant to me. Like, it really stood out. And there were moments this episode, like, I am loving Tom Hiddleston. These shows have never failed to, like, bring new dimensions to these characters. Tom Hiddleston is great. I'm loving Owen Wilson. I think this whole episode really played with our emotions, and that's kind of what I've been missing from episode 3. But once again, this was great. I loved it. I love the action. I love the team of Loki and Sylvie. And that plot twist at the end of the other Lokis, it just jazzes you up for the rest of the show. I cannot wait to see what they do with this.
Oh no,
Jack has died.
Again.
We need a 4th with Jack.
Oh boy. Okay, which Jack are you?
Jack variant, yep, okay.
Yep.
Which one are you this time?
I am a Jack variant from a universe where I have not yet finished university, and I'm super stressed out.
Oh no.
Wasn't that the other Jack?
No, the original Jack has, thankfully. I'm super envious of him.
He's dead. Don't be envious.
What is he? Is he pruned to another dimension?
Oh god, are we gonna do the next episode with like 5 different Jacks?
Give me enough prep time, I'll do that.
And that was the god, because there can only be
Again, like, no surprise. No surprise. I started the episode by saying it because it's just a fact. It's a 10 out of 10. It was great. I loved it. It deserved it. It earned it. And, like, I was surprised, shocked, but more than anything, this episode made me happy. It made me feel all of the emotions, and I loved it.
So I just got killed off again. Now I'm back.
You. Who are you? What's different between
we're
you?
We're dropping cast members like flies here. This is.
I haven't died yet, although there are naturally a bunch of bees.
I haven't died yet. I put myself on mute though because I had to do something that nobody wanted to hear. That was my thought.
Are you from the dimension where Sher has ponytails?
Instead of horns, just ponytails.
No, you're from the Rapunzel dimension. I can't do that. I'm like,
But Jack and I.
Heck yeah.
It's not happening.
Kneale, you're not alone, but I'm getting kind of closer to Sher and Jack's level if I don't get
I can do it now. I got my Mickey Mouse hat.
Yes.
Look at that. Beautiful. Mel, do you want to give your final thoughts and go into your ranking?
I was thinking that Jack can go before because I kind of feel like I have to give like my rankings to the other episodes since I was here kind of similar to WandaVision.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
Cool. Final thoughts on my end. Really loved this episode. Let me have a quick playthrough if there's anything I want to bring up from my notes. Sweet C20 was dead, but maybe not if they were just pruned. I loved the B-15 took Sylvie to, again, an apocalypse. So now that we know you can go to these places and be under the radar, we go there to have this discussion. That's great. Possibly a bit of a TVA uprising, as we said. A bit like Umbrella Academy Season 2, where it's don't mess with case management. And it's just all the people in suits, so ready to rebel. I think, like, I didn't even think of it as much of a negative, because again, I'm just used to watching these with the subtitles now. The only negative I think we brought up at all, or I could think of, was that one Timekeeper's voice was a bit heavily modulated. That didn't particularly bother me, so I have no negatives for this episode. I really enjoyed it. I looked back, so do I give this a 10 out of 10? The only other thing I've given a 10 out of 10 on here was the finale of Clone Wars. And I don't know if I necessarily enjoyed it as much as that, but within the Marvel shows, within this series, this is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Oh yeah.
Best episode of any of the Marvel shows so far, as I'm concerned.
I agree. It's just I really like those Isaiah Bradley moments, man. I'm still with them.
That's fair.
I do think this was the best episode, though. I do. Of all Marvel TV, probably. Mel, you want to go into
Just Disney Plus Marvel TV. Some of the Netflix stuff is pretty good.
Mel, go ahead and give your rankings for episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then give your final thoughts.
All right. So episode 1, I will definitely give an 8 out of 10. My biggest favorite part was the fact that Owen fucking Wilson is in the show, being like, and he's playing like a quieter version of his normal acting trope. Like, he's still Owen Wilson, just a bit quieter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't take him as like a completely serious character, but it's in a good way. Being like, it's Owen Wilson. He kind of just has like an archetype type of acting.
Mm.
Oh wow! You're like, yeah.
There was a point this episode where he said "how," and I was like, I can hear it.
Yeah,
I can hear the wow.
Even if he never says it, that's close enough for me. That'll do.
Right. But I liked it because of the simplicity. It did dive straight into the point, being like, this is what the show's going to be. And that's where I like it. I like a strong first episode because, like, I go by the rule with any show is if I'm not invested by the 4th or the 5th episode of any show, I bounce. So to me, like, there's not many shows nowadays that have a strong like first episode. So to me, yeah, it gets an 8 out of 10, but there's still some gripes, but it went straight to the point of what you were gonna get. Episode 2, I would have to rank the same 8 out of 10. It still kept the same energy. Also to like meeting, Sylvie for the first time and etc. And it still had kind of the same kinetic energy as like episode 1. So they're pretty even to me. Episode 3 though, I think I'm going to be a little bit more harsh than I have been before. I don't think I've ever scored anything this low. I would have to give it a 3 out of 10.
Whoa, that's a lot lower than us.
I think that's my lowest score being on, with you guys with, shows before. I don't even think I gave a WandaVision score that low.
Wow.
It's just because out of the episodes so far, it's really distracting. It's not really cohesive. You can easily get distracted and be like, oh, the show is over kind of vibe. So I was really, really doubting that the show was going to get any better.
Yeah, for us, the lowest we gave was a 6.
Yeah.
666.
Yes, we went.
Sorry, what was your score for episode 2? Just making sure.
8 out of 10.
Yep.
Nice.
Right. I did not like episode 3. I just did not. Being like, I mean, I don't hate it. There's other shows and other things I hate way more. But it especially like a strong, like I said, it had a strong first episode, and then a follow up like equally as strong second episode, and then you give us that of being like, kind of bruised yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I feel it. I could see how people would like actively hate that episode, just because like it was slower, it was a slog, but like there were still good character moments. So even then, I was like, it's fine.
Yeah. Like one of my highlights, and I think most fans agree, the highlight of that was Loki singing, and actually singing in the. I think it is actually the language that would be based around Norse mythology and stuff.
It's Norwegian, I think. Yeah.
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 So that was the highlight of that episode, and I love that part. It's everything else. It was just like it dragged. It's really distracting. It kind of went too off the rails. That's why it's a 3, maybe a 4 is the highest I can give it. But if I gave it any higher than that, I would just be lying to myself.
Comfortably a 3. Okay.
I want it to be known that literally me and my buddy Pat is going to be in the Black Widow review. He was messaging me, and we were just like making jokes because it's Wednesday, it's hump day, so we sent each other like he sent me Jim Carrey frusting. I sent other people frusting, and then he goes, "Oh, I'm not going to say anything because it's a group chat, but holy shit, that Loki episode!" And I, of course, replied, "Yeah, holy fuck, that episode." I think people are feeling this episode, man. I think people are loving it. But Jack, could you please read us off from episode 1 to 4 our combined scores for each episode?
Wait, did she give her final? No, did she do anything for episode 4? Her final thoughts?
Hasn't yet.
Not rank episode 4.
Calculation. I'd scaled previously because we went from 4 to 3 to 3, back up. So okay, so comparatively, but no, I'll just total everything up.
All right, go ahead and give your final thoughts on this episode now.
It's definitely the best episode. I definitely say that it kind of gave the show back life to me, especially after episode 3, where it's just like, okay, now I'm not sure if it's gonna be good. But it revived that faith in me of being like, okay, this is gonna be a good show. It was almost near perfect. It still had flaws, obviously, and there's still I think its only flaw was the fact that was predictable with shit. I'm just spacey today. I'm spacing her name. It's just talking about it.
I do.
Your name is Melissa. We're from this timeline.
Am I?
You have a cute cat.
I do.
I remember what is your ranking for episode 4 of Loki?
But you get what I mean. I think that was just the weakest, so I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's not quite there.
Fair. Very fair. I think episode 2 of Loki, didn't we all give that one 9s?
I just gave.
We gave it 9s and you gave it an 8.
Yeah. I mean, when we reviewed it. Jack, have you done the calculations?
Yes. So
if not,
just
I can be funny for a couple minutes.
Just between the 4 of us, episode 1 was a 32.5
out of 40.
All out of 40. Episode 2 was a 35. Episode 3 we dropped down to a 21, which is still above half, so above average. And then episode 4 out of 40 we gave a 38.
Jeez,
that's like 95% right there.
Yeah,
that's 2 in it. That's 2 away from perfect. I honestly like it when we combine them all together because that feels like me giving it just a 10 out of 10.
That is 95%. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if we combine it together, 95%, that sounds like a good...
Okay.
Oh, you're good. We can still hear you. He doesn't know. But yeah, I think that 95 is really fair for this episode.
I think, isn't that the highest that we've done so far of any show?
No.
I think WandaVision, we had maybe Falcon and Winter Soldier. I don't know what you guys did. I don't exactly remember.
This cast, yes, it's the highest. But of Disney Plus pals together, the highest ranking is 39 out of 40, which we gave to Clone Wars, the Clone Wars finale.
Oh, wow.
And it was almost a 40 out of 40.
Another variant. Which variant are you this time?
That time my Wi-Fi just dropped out, okay?
This one, Oh, you're just still the same variant, but your Wi-Fi screwed up. No, that's different.
Oh, yes, that was exactly 95%. Good mental maths, Sher.
Let's go ahead and plug our stuff, everybody. Mel, you're new here now, so do you have anything else to plug?
Again, which I'm hoping in the near future, I'm not as absent with with these shows. Yeah. So, and I can't plug into my Stardust anymore since it's gone. Really, like my Instagram is imperfect_vanity. TikTok's same thing. Pretty much anywhere with the exception of Facebook, because that was my biggest pet peeve when Stardust was shutting down. I have not been on Facebook in over 4 years. I think it's a toxic site. I technically have an account, and you can add me if you want. It's a personal account, but it will be in vain because it's more like a, hey, it's a dead account, but it's there. But anywhere that you can find my name or my username in Perfect Vanity, more than likely you'll find me. But now it's Instagram is my major one right now.
I feel it. Jack, you got anything to plug? Any cool stuff coming up?
Once again, you can find me at Jack of All Trades on YouTube. I said last week that my Infinity Train Season 4 video will be up by now. It's taken a lot longer to edit because I sat down and was like, yeah, let's get to work. Oh yeah, I was sitting filming for like multiple hours. This is going to take ages. It'll be up sometime this month. But also coming up this month, we'll have videos covering most likely the Made in Abyss movie. It's sort of the next big thing on my radar, because Season 1 was great. I'll plug it, my reaction to the finale of Season 1, where I break down crying and choose to censor it any.
P-Frost. He's dead. Fuck.
Oh.
He's dead. The crying killed him.
I think he's the one who started off the most.
This episode, yeah. Don't worry, he's usually lying. It's no biggie. Sher, do you have anything to plug while Jack recovers?
Well, I have a Facebook and a Twitter. It's just my first and last name. I mean, I'm not really active on social media, plus school's gonna start literally in 2 months. So, and nursing is blood, sweat, and tears. And yeah, but I had a fun time doing my Nickelodeon month. I know, I'm pretty sure some people probably wanted me to do that, but I was originally supposed to do that on Stardust, but
Am I still frozen?
yeah, that didn't.
Welcome back, Jack.
Am I
Jack's
still
back. Finish up, Sher.
Okay, I'll be quick about it. Okay, yeah, Nickelodeon month. I wish I could have done it, but I had a great time through the entire month of June. It was fun. And then next month is Christmas. Woo! Christmas, y'all. Christmas, Halloween and Christmas in July. Roll. Who knows? Maybe I might start watching some more episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark if I can watch it in broad daylight and not watch it at night, because I want to be able to go to sleep. Don't want to keep having that nightmare about the vampire episode. Oh God, man, that was dope. Okay, but anyways, yeah, Facebook and Twitter. Woo!
Ladies and gents, it has been teased, it has been referenced. Tomorrow is the first day of Hawkeye month. That's why my hair is purple.
At time of recording, by the time you're seeing this, it's probably already Hawkeye month.
Oh, I'm recording this today. I'm uploading
Today,
this today.
June 30th.
Nice, okay.
Tomorrow, starting
Yeah.
July 1st, will be Hawkeye.
So tomorrow there will be a video up that explains the intro to Hawkeye month and why I decided to do it. And then every week following that, there will be 2 episodes that in some way connect to the character of Hawkeye. I am cheating a little bit because some of them are like, here's my focus on Hawkeye. Now let's talk about other Marvel stuff. But you know, I'm doing it. I'm putting the work in. It is not easy doing 2 videos a week, let me tell you. But we've already got a couple of them filmed. I believe 3 of them are already filmed. So a few of those should be ready for you fine people this week. And I'm still working on many other podcasts. Black Widow will, of course, be reviewed in some fashion. I'll have to put together a cast for that. But that's really all I have to plug. So do we have a joke we want to end on?
Miss Minutes might be an evil being. Yay, okay, whatever.
Miss Minutes is an evil being?
I can say it for you. Miss Menace is an evil bitch.
She could be an evil bitch. Shimagorath.
I love Tira, but I'm pretty
I'm just saying, for those of you who don't know, Shimagorath is like, imagine a starfish, but in the middle of the starfish is an eyeball, and it's like got tentacles coming off of it. I would love it if
You watch
freaking.
This is a norm.
I'm just saying, imagine Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls' voice coming out of that. That's cute as hell.
This is Blossom and Buttercup. I'm Hi Guy.
Well, I guess that's it for us, folks. Don't kill people. Or do. Who cares? Bye.